Ambassador Da-Yun Lee sat in the massive council chamber on Nexus Prime. The room was huge, with seats for over 300 different alien species. Each seat was made for different body types, some for creatures with wings, others for beings made of gas, and some for rock-like aliens who needed special support. Da-Yun looked around the room with tired eyes. She had been Earth's voice here for 10 years. 10 long years of watching other species treat humans like children. The other aliens spoke to her like she was stupid, even though Earth's technology had grown faster than anyone expected. Today was different. Today the Council was voting on something that would hurt Earth badly. 3 star systems that Earth needed were being taken away. These systems had rare metals that Earth's growing population needed to survive. Without them, billions of people would suffer. The vote had just finished. Earth lost as usual. Councillor Veltar, a tall crystal being, spoke with a voice like breaking glass. "The decision is final. These systems are too dangerous for young species like humans. You must stay in your current area." Da-Un stood up slowly. Her hands shook, but not from fear. She was angry. Very angry. "Dangerous?" she said, her voice carrying across the silent chamber. "You mean profitable. You mean useful. You mean too good for humans." The alien counselors made various sounds of disapproval. Some clicked, others buzzed, and a few made noises like angry cats. Mordani, a floating gas creature, spoke through, a translator. "Your species is still young. You reached space only 300 years ago. We have been here for thousands of years. We know what is best." Da-Yun laughed, but it was not a happy sound. "You know what is best. Let me tell you what I know. I know that in the past 50 years, humans have solved problems that stumped your scientists for centuries. I know that our ships are faster than yours now. I know that our weapons work better. And I know something else." She paused and looked around the room. Every alien eye, sensor, or other seeing organ was focused on her. "I know that you are afraid of us." The chamber erupted in angry sounds. Aliens from dozens of species made noises of protest. But Da-Un kept talking, her voice getting louder. "You are terrified that humans will keep growing, keep learning, keep getting better. In 300 years, we went from riding horses to traveling between stars. What will we do in the next 300 years? What will we do in the next 50? Counselor Zethka, a 6-armed purple alien, slammed his fists on his desk. "You speak nonsense! We are not afraid of primitives!" "Primitives?" Da-Un smiled coldly. "Is that what you call the species that just built quantum computers while you still use crystal technology from 10,000 years ago? Is that what you call the species that found new ways to travel faster than light while you use the same old methods your ancestors used?" She pulled out a small device and held it up. "This is a human communication device. It can send messages across the galaxy in seconds. How long does your fastest message take? Hours? Days?" The chamber had grown quiet. Da-Yun could see worry in the faces of species that had never looked worried before. "You have spent thousands of years sitting in these comfortable chairs, making rules, controlling who gets what. You forgot how to grow. You forgot how to change. You forgot how to face challenges. But humans remember, we never stopped growing." Admiral Taemin Park, who had been sitting quietly behind Da-Un, stood up. He was a tall man with gray hair and eyes like steel. His uniform was simple but clean. On his chest were medals from wars that the Council had tried to stop Earth from fighting. "We remember," he said in a quiet voice that somehow carried to every corner of the huge room. "We remember what it means to struggle, to fight, to never give up. You have forgotten these things." Counselor Veltar's crystal body flickered with angry light. "Your species is dangerous. You fight too much. You grow too fast. You ask too many questions." Da-Yun nodded. "Yes, we are dangerous. Dangerous to those who want to keep others small. Dangerous to those who fear change. Dangerous to those who think they have the right to control the galaxy forever. She looked around the room. One more time. But we are not dangerous to those who want to grow with us. We are not dangerous to those who want to explore and learn and build new things. We are only dangerous to those who want everything to stay the same forever. General Woojin Choi, a short but strong man, stepped forward. The Council has made its choice. Earth is not welcome to grow, not welcome to explore, not welcome to take our place among equals. Da-Yun picked up Earth's flag from the table in front of her. It was a simple blue and green banner that showed their home planet. Then Earth makes its choice too, she said. We withdraw from this council. We withdraw from your treaties. We withdraw from your rules and your fears and your small dreams. The chamber erupted again, but this time it was different. This time, there was panic in the alien voices. You cannot do this! Veltar's crystal form was flashing rapidly. You cannot survive without the council. You need our trade. You need our protection. Da-Un walked toward the exit, carrying Earth's flag. Admiral Park and General Choi followed her. At the door, she turned back. Humanity does not need your permission to reach for the stars, she said. We never did. As the three humans left the chamber, emergency alarms began to sound across Nexus Prime. In space above the planet, alien fleets were already moving. The galaxy was about to learn that some species could not be caged. Back on Earth, Dr. Hai-Jin. Kim received a message on her quantum computer. It was time to activate the network she had been building in secret for 20 years. Time to show the galaxy what humans had really been doing while the Council thought they were being controlled. The breaking point had arrived. President Sung-Ho Kang sat in his office deep under the mountains of Korea. The room had no windows, but screens on every wall showed views of space, Earth's cities, and distant stars. Red lights flashed as urgent messages came in from across. The galaxy! Sir, his aide said, running into the room. Ambassador Lee has left the council. The alien fleets are moving. President Kang nodded calmly. He had been waiting for this day for 20 years. Send the signal. Activate Exodus Protocol. Across Earth, people stopped what they were doing as a special message played on every screen, every radio, every communication device. The president's face appeared, calm and serious. Citizens of Earth, he said, today, humanity takes its next step. We are leaving the cage that others built for us. Operation Exodus begins now. Dr. Hai-Jin Kim stood in a secret facility hidden in the mountains of Tibet. Around her, dozens of scientists worked at glowing consoles. At the center of the room was a machine that hummed with power. It looked like a ring made of silver metal, big enough for a spaceship to fly through. Quantum Gate Network is ready, she reported into her headset. All gates are online. The machine had taken her entire life to build. While the aliens thought humans were using simple technology, Dr. Kim had been working on something they could not imagine. Quantum gates that could connect any 2 points in space instantly. Begin Phase 1, came the president's voice. Dr. Kim pressed a button. Across the galaxy, rings of silver light appeared in empty space. Each ring was a doorway that led to freedom. Captain Ji-Ho-Nam stood on the bridge of his ship, the New Soul. Around him, his crew worked quietly and efficiently. Outside the windows, he could see other ships, hundreds of them, all waiting for the signal. Captain, his communications officer called. We have the green light. Captain Nam smiled. Take us through. The New Soul flew toward one of the silver rings. As it passed through, the ship disappeared from Earth's solar system. A second later, it appeared, near a star that was 50,000 light-years away, a star that no alien had ever seen before. Behind the New Soul came more ships, colony vessels filled with families and equipment, cargo ships carrying machines and supplies, warships ready to protect the new settlements. Within hours, human, Ships were pouring through quantum gates to reach star systems across the galaxy. Engineer So Young-yoon watched from her laboratory as her life's work finally proved itself. Her new faster-than-light drives had seemed impossible to alien scientists. They said it could not be done. They said the laws of physics would not allow it. They were wrong. "Quantum fold drive is working perfectly," she reported. "Travel time from Earth to Sector 47 is now 6 hours instead of 6 months." Her drives did not just bend space like alien technology. They folded it, creating shortcuts through dimensions that aliens did not know existed. Human ships could now travel at speeds that made the galaxy seem small. On the alien homeworld of Veltar, Counselor Veltar received reports that made his crystal body dim with shock. Humans were appearing everywhere. Star systems that had been empty for millions of years suddenly had human colonies. Ships were moving at impossible speeds. "How?" he asked his aide. "How are they doing this?" The aide, a smaller crystal being, flickered nervously. "We do not know, Counselor. Our scientists say their technology should not work. But it does work. Reports kept coming in. Human colonies in the outer rim. Human ships in the galactic core. Human bases in regions that the Council had declared impossible to reach. In one day, humanity had spread across more space than most species covered in 1,000 years. Captain Nam stood on the surface of a new world. The sky was purple and 3 moons hung overhead. His teams were already setting up the first buildings of what would become New Busan. "Sir," one of his officers said, "long-range sensors show alien ships approaching. Council fleet. They do not look happy." Captain Nam looked up at the purple sky. "Let them come. They are about to learn something new." The alien fleet arrived expecting to find a small human settlement that they could easily destroy. Instead, they found a fully operational colony, protected by defense systems they had never seen before. The human weapons did not fire energy beams like alien guns. They fired packets of folded space that could punch through any armor. When the aliens tried to retreat, they found their ships could not move. Human gravity manipulators held them in place like flies in honey. "Surrender," Captain Nam broadcast to the alien fleet. "Leave this system and do not return. This world belongs to humanity now." The alien commander, a proud warrior from the Keth species, responded with anger. "You cannot claim worlds. The Council controls expansion. You will obey." "The Council," Captain Nam said calmly, "no longer has any power over humanity. You have 2 minutes to leave." The alien ships tried to fight. Their weapons bounced harmlessly off human shields. Their best pilots could not match the speed of human fighters. In 10 minutes, half their fleet was disabled. The rest fled. Back on Earth, General Woojin Choi stood in the war room watching reports from dozens of worlds. Each report was the same: human colonies appearing, alien fleets arriving, alien fleets leaving in defeat or surrender. "Sir," an officer reported, "the aliens are panicking. They are pulling ships from across the galaxy to try to stop us." General Choi smiled grimly. "Let them gather their forces. They still do not understand what they are facing." Dr. Kim's quantum gate network was not just for transportation. It was for communication, too. Every human colony, every ship, every outpost was connected instantly. When one colony was attacked, every other colony knew about it immediately. When one ship found something useful, every other ship had that information in seconds. Humanity was not just expanding. They were expanding as one united force with perfect coordination. Engineer Yoon received a message from a colony ship near the galactic edge. "They found something," she told her team. "Ancient ruins. Technology that even the Council never discovered." The galaxy was full of secrets, dead civilizations, lost technologies, hidden resources. The Council had kept most species away from these things, claiming they were too dangerous. But danger had never stopped humans before. President Kang stood before the cameras again as reports of human success flooded in from every direction. Today, he said, humanity claimed its birthright, not just Earth, but the stars themselves. We go not as conquerors, but as explorers. We go not to destroy, but to build. We go because it is what humans do. We grow, we learn. We never stop reaching for something better. On Nexus Prime, the Galactic Council met in emergency session. For the first time in thousands of years, they did not know what to do. Humanity had become something they did not understand, something they could not control. We have lost 50 star systems in one day, Counselor Mordani reported. Human technology is beyond our understanding. Their coordination is perfect. Their expansion is unstoppable. Counselor Veltar's crystal form flickered weakly. This is impossible. No species can advance this quickly. But across the galaxy, humanity was proving that impossible was just another word for something that had not been done yet. The exodus had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. The galaxy was breaking apart. On the reptilian world of Skarn, Supreme Leader Vashta watched human ships arrive through quantum gates. For 3,000 years, his people had been forced to bow to the Council. They had been told they were too aggressive, too violent, too dangerous to expand beyond their home system. The humans have come, his aide reported. They request a meeting. Vashta's scaled lips curved into what humans would recognize as a smile. Let them come. It is time to hear what freedom sounds like. Diplomat Young Mihan stepped off the human transport ship onto Skarn soil. The gravity was heavy, and the air smelled of sulfur, but she did not complain. Around her, reptilian soldiers watched with curious eyes. These beings had been warriors before the Council broke their spirit. Supreme Leader Vashta, she said, bowing respectfully, I bring greetings from Earth and an offer of friendship. The old reptilian leader studied her carefully. The Council says humans are rebels, dangerous. They say you will destroy the peace. Young Me smiled. What peace? The peace of slavery? The peace of being told you cannot grow? The peace of watching your children accept limits that you never chose? Vashta's eyes blazed. You speak truth, but the Council has power, ships, weapons. So do we, Young Me said simply. But more importantly, we have something else. Hope, the belief that things can be better. The knowledge that no species has to accept limits placed by others. She gestured to her ship. We offer you our technology, our friendship, our protection. In return, we ask only that you remember what your people were before the Council told you what you could not be. On the insectoid world of Hive Prime, Queen Zikara felt the vibrations of change through her neural network. Her people had once swarmed across dozens of worlds, building great hive cities among the stars. Then the Council came. They said the hives were too aggressive, grew too fast, consumed too many resources. Commander Jae-wook Lim stood before the massive queen in her throne chamber. Around him, thousands of worker insects scuttled about their business. The queen's thoughts touched his mind gently. You are not afraid, her mental voice said with surprise. Others fear the hive mind. Why should I fear intelligence? Jae-wook replied. Your people built wonders while others were still learning to make fire. The Council wasted your gifts. The queen's massive head tilted. They said we were dangerous, that our growth threatened others. Growth only threatens those who refuse to grow themselves, Jae-wook said. Join us. Show the galaxy what the hives can truly accomplish. Dr. Yoon Seo Shin worked in her laboratory on a human research station, studying data from across the galaxy. As a xenobiologist who specialized in alien psychology, she was beginning to understand something important about the Galactic Council. They are not evil, she explained to her research team. They are afraid, but not of us. They are afraid of change itself. Her assistant, a young scientist named Min Ho, looked confused. But change is natural. Evolution. Growth. How can they fear that? Dr. Shin pulled up images of ancient alien civilizations. Look at these records. Every council, species was once like humanity. Bold, curious, always pushing boundaries. But they achieved comfort and safety, and then they stopped. The images showed the progression of each species, early periods of rapid advancement, exploration, and discovery, then long periods of stagnation, thousands of years of doing the same, things in the same ways. They have forgotten that comfort is the enemy of growth, Dr. Shin continued. They see humanity's rapid advancement and remember what they used to be. It terrifies them because it means they chose to stop growing. Commander Jae-wook Lim led his strike force through space toward a council military base. His ships moved like ghosts, invisible to alien sensors. Human stealth technology did not just hide from radar and scanners. It bent light itself, making the ships impossible to see. "Target acquired," his pilot reported. "Council supply depot, heavily defended." Jae-wook studied the alien base on his screen. It was old, built using technology that had not changed in centuries. The aliens inside probably felt safe behind their shields and weapons. "Remember," he told his team, "we disable only, no unnecessary destruction. We are not conquerors." The human ships appeared suddenly around the alien base, but they did not attack immediately. Instead, Jae-wook sent a message. "Council forces." His voice broadcast across all frequencies. "This facility is now under human protection. Any ships that wish to leave may do so safely. Any ships that choose to fight will be disabled and their crews rescued." The alien base commander was a proud Veltar crystal being named Korth Owl. "Humans! You dare attack a council facility! We will destroy you!" "You will try," Jae-wook said calmly. The battle was over in minutes. Human weapons passed through alien. Shields like they were not there. Alien weapons could not lock onto human ships that could bend space around themselves. When it was over, the alien crews floated in escape pods while their base drifted powerless in space. But the humans did exactly what they promised. They rescued every alien crew member and gave them medical treatment. They took the base's weapons, but left food and supplies. They acted like civilized beings, not conquerors. News of these actions spread across the galaxy. Species that had expected humans to be monsters discovered they were something else entirely. They were liberators who fought with honor and treated enemies with respect. Young Mi Han stood before an assembly of representatives from 40 different species. They had gathered on a neutral world to hear humanity's offer. "We do not ask you to serve us," she said. "We do not ask you to pay tribute or follow our rules. We ask only that you stand with us as equals in building something better." A representative from the Fungal Spore Collective spoke through a translator. "The Council will punish us. They have power." "They had power," young Mi corrected. "Power that came from fear, from making others believe they had no choice. But you always had a choice. You just needed someone to remind you." She activated a holographic display showing human colonies across the galaxy. "Look at what we have built in just weeks. Colonies where different species work together. Research stations where human and alien scientists share knowledge. Trade. Routes that benefit everyone equally." An amphibian from the water worlds asked, "What happens when you become like the Council?" "When you grow comfortable and want to control others?" Young Mi smiled. "Then you stop us. That is the point. No one species should have all the power. The galaxy belongs to all of us." By the end of the meeting, 37 species had joined, what they called the Free Worlds Coalition. It was not an empire with one ruler. It was an alliance of equals working together by choice, not force. Back on Nexus Prime, the Galactic Council met in desperate session. Councillor Veltar's crystal form was dim with despair. Reports kept coming in of species leaving the Council, of worlds declaring independence, of ancient treaties being broken. "We are losing everything," Mordani reported. "Half our member species have joined the humans or declared neutrality. Our fleet is scattered trying to respond to uprisings across the galaxy." Ancient Councillor Zethka, who had ruled for over 2,000 years, spoke in a voice heavy with defeat. "We have ruled through fear for so long that we forgot how to inspire loyalty. The humans remind our subjects what it means to hope." "Then we must destroy hope," Veltar said desperately. "We must make an example that will terrify others into submission." "What example can we make?" Mordani asked. "Our weapons cannot touch their ships. Our fleets cannot catch them. Our spies cannot infiltrate their quantum communication network." The council chamber fell silent. For the first time in millennia, the rulers of the galaxy did not know what to do. But across the galaxy, hope was spreading like wildfire. Species that had accepted limitations for thousands of years were remembering what it meant to dream. The ripple effect had begun, and nothing would ever be the same. Dr. Shin finished her report and sent it to Earth. Her conclusion was simple but profound. The Council fears change because they have forgotten that stagnation is death. Humanity's gift to the galaxy is not technology or military might. It is the reminder that growth is the natural state of life. The galaxy was waking up from a very long sleep. The Galactic Council made its final desperate decision in the Grand Chamber on Nexus Prime. Councillor Veltar's crystal body blazed with desperate light as he addressed the emergency session. "We have lost half the galaxy," he declared. "Species that obeyed us for millennia now spit on our authority. Trade routes we controlled for eons now serve human interests. Our empire crumbles because we showed weakness." Ancient Mordani floated in his containment field, his gas form swirling with agitation. "The humans must be stopped, made an example. If we destroy their homeworld, the rebellion will collapse." Councillor Zethka, oldest of them all, raised his 6 arms. "Gather every ship, every weapon, every soldier. We will show the galaxy what happens to those who defy the natural order." Across Council space, the largest fleet in galactic history began to assemble. Ships from 100 different worlds, each built with technology perfected over thousands of years. Massive dreadnoughts that could crack planets, swarms of fighters that could blot out stars, weapons that could turn entire solar systems to ash. Admiral Kyungsoo Bay stood on the bridge of Earth's newest dreadnought, the Incheon. Around him, his crew worked calmly despite the reports flooding in. The Council was bringing everything. "They had to destroy Earth, sir," his sensor officer reported. "Council fleet size is now over 10,000 ships. They are heading directly for Earth." Admiral Bay nodded calmly. "Signal all human and allied fleets. Begin Operation Homecoming." In her laboratory, scientist Min Jun Huang made final adjustments to humanity's most secret weapon. For years, she had worked on technology that aliens said was impossible, reality-warping devices that could change the basic laws of physics in small areas. "Dimensional fold generators are ready," she reported. "Artificial singularity network is online. Phase shift weapons are charged." Her technology went beyond what any species had achieved. Human scientists had learned to manipulate the fabric of space and time itself. They could create pockets where different rules applied, make matter solid or ghostly at will, turn energy weapons back on their users. General Yejin Ryu coordinated the defense from her command center deep in the moon. Screens showed the positions of every ship in the solar system. Human vessels, allied fleets, and the massive council. "Armada approaching like a dark storm. Remember," she told her commanders, "we are not just defending Earth. We are defending the idea that no one has the right to cage the dreams of others." The Council fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of Earth's solar system. Admiral Korthvel, commanding from the massive dreadnought Eternal Order, studied the human defenses with satisfaction. They have maybe 2,000. Ships, he reported to the council. We have 10,000. This will be over quickly. But as the alien fleet moved deeper into the solar system, strange things began to happen. Human ships appeared and disappeared like ghosts. Weapons that should have destroyed them passed harmlessly through their hulls. Alien sensors showed impossible readings. Captain Jiho Nam commanded a squadron of human destroyers hiding in the asteroid belt. His ships were invisible to alien sensors, not because of stealth technology, but because scientist Huang's reality warpers made them exist in slightly different dimensions. Phase 1, he commanded. Begin harassment attacks. Human ships materialized from nothing, fired devastating volleys, and vanished again. Alien vessels found their weapons hitting empty space while human fire tore through their defenses. The mighty council fleet began to spread out, confused and frustrated. Dr. Hyojin Kim activated the solar system's ultimate defense. Around each planet, around the asteroid belt, around the outer gas giants, rings of silver light appeared. Quantum gates, but not for transportation. These gates connected to artificial black holes that humanity had learned to create and control. Singularity. Network active, she reported. Gravity wells online. Suddenly, the council fleet found space itself working against them. Artificial gravity fields pulled their ships off course. Micro black holes appeared and disappeared, creating navigation hazards. The orderly formation of the alien armada began to fall apart. Admiral Korthvel ordered his fleet to concentrate their fire on Earth itself. Ignore the human ships! Destroy their homeworld! But as the massive alien weapons fired, something impossible happened. The energy beams bent around Earth, redirected by gravity fields that humans controlled like tools. Planet-killing weapons harmlessly dispersed into space. General Ryu smiled as reports came in from across the system. Phase 2. Begin counterattack. Human. Reinforcements began arriving through quantum gates, not just from nearby colonies but from across the galaxy. Ships appeared constantly, creating a steady stream of fresh forces, but then something happened that shocked even the humans. More quantum gates opened, and through them came ships that looked almost human, but not quite the same. Parallel dimensional fleet arriving, Dr. Kim reported, her voice filled with wonder. The gates have connected to alternate realities where humanity developed differently. Human ships from dimensions where Earth had taken different paths joined the battle. In some realities, humans had become more peaceful. In others, they had become more militaristic, but all shared the same core drive to grow and explore and resist oppression. The Council fleet found itself facing not just one humanity, but dozens of different versions working in perfect coordination. Ships that could share information across dimensions, weapons that could strike from alternate realities, defenses that existed in multiple dimensions at once. Admiral Korthvel watched his mighty fleet being torn apart by enemies that seemed to multiply endlessly. This is impossible. They cannot have this much power. Sir, his aide reported with terror in his voice. Long-range sensors show more human fleets approaching from every direction. Allied species are joining the battle. We are outnumbered 50-1. The reptilian Skarn fleet arrived first, their ships bristling with weapons they had been forbidden to build. Supreme Leader Vashita's voice echoed across the communication. Channels! For too long we accepted chains. No more. Today we fight for freedom. The insectoid hives came next, their vessels moving with perfect coordination. Queen Zakara's mental voice touched every defender. The galaxy belongs to those who dare to grow, not to those who fear change. Species from across the galaxy arrived to defend Earth. Some came to fight the Council. Others came to fight for the idea that no one should have unlimited power over others. The battle became not just about humanity, but about the future of galactic civilization. Scientist Huang's reality-warping weapons began to turn the tide decisively. Council ships found their armor becoming liquid, their weapons turning into flowers, their engines becoming decorative sculptures. The fabric of reality itself rebelled against the Council's aggression. Admiral Bay's fleet struck the final blow. Using quantum-fold drives at maximum power, human dreadnoughts appeared directly inside the enemy formation. Point-blank fire disabled dozens of alien capital ships before they could react. "Council fleet," Admiral Bay broadcast, "you have lost. Surrender now and your crews will be treated with honor. Continue fighting and face complete destruction." Admiral Korthvel looked around his ruined command bridge. Most of his fleet was disabled or destroyed. The survivors were scattered and demoralized. In one day, the mighty Galactic Council had been broken by a species they had considered primitive. I surrender," he said, his voice hollow with defeat. Across the galaxy, news of the Council's defeat spread faster than light through human quantum networks. On 1,000 worlds, celebration erupted. Species that had been enslaved for millennia danced in the streets. The age of forced submission was over. General Ryu stood before the cameras to address the galaxy. Today, tyranny died among the stars. Not because humans are superior, but because all thinking beings deserve the right to choose their own destiny. The Battle of Sol was over. The Galactic Council's power was broken forever. But the real victory was not military. It was the proof that even the mightiest oppressor could fall when enough people refused to accept limits on their dreams. In the aftermath, rescue ships from dozens of species worked together to save alien crews from disabled vessels. Enemies shared medical supplies and repaired each other's ships. The galaxy had learned a new way to resolve conflicts. The age of the Council was ending. The age of cooperation was about to begin. President Ha Yun-young stood before the assembled representatives of 300 species on the newly built station called Unity Point. The station floated in neutral space, built jointly by dozens of civilizations working together. Unlike the old council chambers, every seat was the same size, and every voice carried equal weight. "We gather not as rulers and subjects," she said, "but as equals sharing one galaxy. The Battle of Sol had ended 3 months ago. In that time, the old Galactic Council had completely collapsed. Some member species had joined the Free Worlds Coalition. Others had declared independence and chosen isolation. A few had tried to form new mini-empires, but without the Council's vast fleet to enforce their will, these attempts quickly failed. Dr. Hee-Jin Kim floated in her new research station in the Andromeda Approach, the region between galaxies where space itself behaved strangely. Her quantum gate network had revealed something amazing. The universe was not just bigger than anyone imagined. It was infinite, with endless parallel dimensions and alternate realities. "The gates are stabilizing," she reported to her team. "We can now access 17 different dimensional layers. Each one has its own physical laws and its own versions of life." Her discovery meant that the old arguments about limited resources were meaningless. There were infinite worlds, infinite possibilities, infinite room for every species to grow. The Council's entire justification for controlling expansion had been based on a lie. Admiral Tae-min Park no longer commanded fleets preparing for war. Instead, he led exploration missions into the unknown regions that the Council had forbidden. His ship, the New Horizon, had just returned from the galactic core, where ancient structures older than any known civilization waited to be studied. "We found cities built inside stars," he reported with wonder. "Technology that turns thoughts into matter, beings that exist as pure energy. The Council knew these things existed and kept everyone away from them. The ancient aliens had not been extinct. They had evolved beyond physical form, becoming something like living ideas that existed in the fabric of space itself. They welcomed the younger species with joy, saying they had waited millions of years for someone brave enough to seek them out." Engineer So Young-yoon worked with scientists from dozens of species to build new types of ships. Her quantum fold drives were just the beginning. By combining human creativity with alien knowledge, they had created vessels that could travel not just faster than light, but faster than thought itself. "The prototype is ready," she announced, as her team gathered around a ship that seemed to be made of crystallized starlight. "This vessel can exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. It can visit any point in space and time." The ship represented everything the new galaxy stood for. It was built by humans, powered by Veltar crystal technology, navigated by insectoid hive minds, and protected by Skarn weapon systems. Every species had contributed their best knowledge freely. On the world of New Harmony, the first truly integrated colony, children from 20 different species played together in schools that floated among the clouds. They learned mathematics from crystal beings who thought in pure logic. They studied art from gas creatures who painted with controlled lightning. They learned combat from reptilian warriors who had rediscovered their honor. Teacher Min Seo Park, a human who had volunteered to work on New Harmony, watched her mixed species class with pride. "Today, we will learn about the history of our galaxy," she said. "Not the history that the Council taught, but the real story of how different peoples learn to dream together." The students, some with scales, some with crystal bodies, some floating in containment fields, listened eagerly. They were growing up in a universe where cooperation was normal and limits were things that existed only to be overcome. In the Yaba ruins of the old council chambers on Nexus Prime, former Counselor Veltar worked quietly cataloging the vast libraries that previous generations had sealed away. Much of the Council's power had come from hoarding knowledge, keeping scientific discoveries secret, and preventing species from learning things that might make them harder to control. "It will take decades to release all of this information," he told his human assistant, a young woman named Yoon Young, who treated him with respect despite his past. "My people spent thousands of years collecting knowledge and locking it away. Your people want to share everything freely." Veltar had changed since the fall of the Council. Like many former counselors, he had begun to remember what his species had been like before they became comfortable with power. The crystal beings had once been explorers and scientists. They could be again. President Jung received daily reports about the transformation of galactic civilization. Trade between species had increased 100-fold now that artificial restrictions were gone. Scientific advances were happening at an incredible pace as different types of minds worked together on problems. Art and culture flourished as beings shared their unique perspectives. "But we must be careful," she told her advisors. "Power has a way of corrupting those who hold it. We must make sure that humanity never becomes what the Council was." That was why the new government was designed to prevent any one species from gaining too much control. Decisions were made by consensus. Leadership rotated between different worlds and species. Every few years, new elections were held where anyone could participate. General Yejin Ryu had retired from military service to become a teacher at the new Galactic Defense Academy. Students from across the galaxy learned not just how to fight, but when fighting was necessary and when it was wrong. "The strongest warrior," she told her mixed species class, "is the one who knows that strength exists to protect, not to dominate." Her students included young Skarn, who were learning to control their warrior instincts, hive drones who were developing individual personalities, and humans who were learning that their drive to overcome challenges could be channeled into positive growth. Dr. Yoon Seo. Shin published her final report on the psychology of galactic civilization. Her conclusion was simple but profound. Every species goes through the same cycle. First, they struggle to survive. Then they grow and explore and achieve great things. Finally, they become comfortable and stop growing. The Council represented the final stage, a civilization that had forgotten how to change. Humanity's gift to the galaxy, she continued, was the reminder that growth never has to stop. That comfort is not the goal of life, but a temporary rest between challenges. The universe is infinite, and so is the potential for any species to become more than they are. Captain Jiho Nam, now an ambassador rather than a soldier, stood before the reconstructed council chambers. But this time, he was not delivering ultimatums. He was presenting humanity's proposal for the next phase of galactic development. "We propose the Great Journey," he announced. "An expedition beyond our galaxy to explore the universe itself. Every species that wishes to participate will be welcome. We will build ships capable of traveling between galaxies and establish contact with whatever civilizations we find there." The proposal was met with enthusiasm from hundreds of species. After millions of years of being told that they were limited to small areas of space, the idea of infinite exploration filled them with excitement. Work began immediately on the largest construction project in galactic history. Ships the size of small moons, capable of carrying entire civilizations on journeys that might last thousands of years. Each ship would be a miniature galaxy unto itself, with different species working together to explore the infinite cosmos. As President Jung prepared to leave office after her first term, she looked back on what had been accomplished. The galaxy that had once been divided into rulers and subjects was now a community of equals. Species that had stagnated for millennia were growing and changing again. The future stretched ahead like an endless adventure. "We did not conquer the galaxy," she said in her farewell speech. "We liberated it. We reminded every thinking being that they have the right to reach for the stars, to grow beyond what they are, to never accept limits placed by others." On Earth, children looked up at night skies filled with the lights of ships traveling between dimensions. They dreamed of the day when they would join the exploration fleets heading for distant galaxies. They grew up knowing that the universe was infinite and that every dream was possible. The old Galactic Council had ruled through fear, keeping species small and separated. The new galactic civilization thrived on hope, bringing different peoples together to achieve things that none could accomplish alone. And in the spaces between galaxies, ancient beings made of living light watched the young species with approval. They had been waiting for this moment for eons, the moment when the galaxy's children finally learned to work together and reach for infinity. The age of limits was over. The age of endless possibility had begun. Dr. Kim's final transmission from her interdimensional research station carried a simple message to every world. The universe is not just bigger than we imagined. It is bigger than we can imagine, and we are just getting started. The story of humanity severing ties with the Galactic Council had become the story of an entire galaxy learning to dream again, and that was only the beginning of adventures that would span infinite realities for all time to come.